Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game, episodes 48 and 49. So let's get right into episode 48. This one is titled The White Bride. So this episode is basically a bunch of women on their wedding day, if they wear a white wedding dress, are getting kidnapped, and sort of in the room they're kidnapped from are like spores and mold and sort of things like that. Right away at the start of this episode, we are shown the Digimon, and I thought it was Mushroomon, but it ends up being a brand new Digimon that I think appeared in this show called Shamblemon, who is just a Mushroomon recolor, which is not my favorite, but it's fine. So this episode, again, women on their wedding day getting kidnapped, so we put Ruri in a wedding dress, and she ends up getting kidnapped, and then we just sort of follow them and try and stop them. This is a pretty standard episode. Basically, it's like, alright, here's sort of our problem at the start, and then, one of the characters has a friend that they're helping. In this case, it was Ruri helping her friend get married or whatever. And then the Digimon show up, and we sort of fight them and solve the problem and stuff. It's not like the show has a formula, and this is a very formulaic episode. I think the most interesting thing that really happened here, well, first of all, the Shamblemon are kidnapping people to grow mushrooms out of them to then eat and power themselves up. And basically, they discovered that people on their wedding day, the fear of basically getting kidnapped at that point leads to them growing better mushrooms, or something like that. The mushrooms growing on people, gross. The really creepy part, though, is when they rip them out, and, like, the way it's animated, it looks like roots almost are being pulled out of the people. It's gross. It's unsettling. I liked it a lot. We have another Digimon lurking in the background, Garamon, which is like a slightly yellow Numamon. I'm bringing him up because he will be important later. We also have, Ryudamon is hanging out back at the dorm with Kyoshiro and Jellymon. He came to see Gamamon, but he's not there. And we get like a development with him where he evolves into Ginryumon, and then flying on his back. That's how Jellymon and Kyoshiro end up getting to the place where Hiro and Gamamon are. Okay. So this is where things get weird, and I'm not really sure what's going on. The Shamblemons are winning. They got mushrooms growing out of everybody, including Kyoshiro, and the Mushroomons are eating the mushrooms to power up. Kyoshiro eats the mushrooms to power up. Okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is here. It's strange. But whatever. By the end, this ends up being like a Kyoshiro Jellymon episode coming in to save the day. Jellymon evolves into... Oh no, what is the third evolution? Jellymon, Tesla Jellymon, Thetismon? And we actually get to see her fight a bit. Maybe we've seen her fight in a previous episode, but I just don't remember it. She uses the attack Billy Smasher, which I think is new. I don't remember it at all. Every time she shows up, it's almost always to just heal people, and I never really remember seeing any action with her. But then she heals people, gets the mushrooms off them, and then this episode ends with, we don't forgive the Shamblemon who've been harassing people. No, the Garamon from earlier show up and kidnap them, and we just sit there and watch, and our cast is just like, the Garamon aren't gonna eat them, right? And that's how we end. So the Shamblemon are probably eaten. It's just a very bizarre ending. But yeah, that's episode 48. It was fine. Episode 49, we have a Halloween episode. This video is coming out in December, so I missed it just a little bit. But this is our second Halloween episode now, because this show's been going on so long. This episode is called the Crimson Harvest Festival, and again, just like the previous episode, right away we are introduced to our villain of the week, and it is Witchmon, and she is turning human girls into witches. And I forget exactly how it's worded, but basically, some of the girls are being turned into witches, and people that don't really believe or don't really respect witches are being turned into rats. And then Witchmon has like a little cat creature that surrounds her, and everybody she turns into a witch also gets their own little cat creature, and those cats eat the rats. So cool. This episode like starts, and we're just moving the whole time. Like, there's no, all right, our cast has to sit down and think, and like a few days pass, or like, no. We get that opening, and then immediately we are back at the school from the last Halloween episode. Ruri and Hiro, and this time Kyoshiro and Jellymon are helping out, because I think the last Halloween episode was before Kyoshiro and Jellymon partnered up. So we're back at that school, we're helping out again for Halloween, and then immediately one of the girls that was there doing Halloween prep gets turned into a witch, and then she turns people into a witch, and then eventually like all the girls are turned into witches or rats, and now our cast is just going to help. And Witchmon has assembled like this huge group of witches, and they're trying to like make the world for witches, make it a magic world or something like that. There's like, they're doing a spell, they're summoning like a cool castle. Yeah, this episode is just non-stop. Like, we get right into it, and we're just constantly moving. The way they get turned into witches is kind of creepy. Like, like a bunch of eyeballs get summoned, and they're like forced down their throat. It's gross. It's not as unsettling as the mushrooms from the last episode, but still creepy. Witchmon specifically says in this that Halloween amplifies her magic. So we have her holding her own against some of the enemies, like, or not the enemies, like us, the heroes, pretty well, and the only reason she's able to like control all these people and stuff is because it's Halloween and her magic is amplified. And this is where things get a bit weird. Beginning of the episode, Gamamon sees a jack-o'-lantern and says, "Hey, it's Pumpkinmon." And it wasn't. It was just a jack-o'-lantern. But later on in the episode, Pumpkinmon shows up to help fight, and then gets blown away instantly, so I don't know why he showed up. He didn't really do much. He just said, "Witchmon, you better stop this. You're harassing my friends." Which could have been cool, because I think Pumpkinmon is an ultimate and Witchmon's a champion. So he could have, like, there could have been a little bit of a fight there, and I would have liked if this episode had become Pumpkinmon fighting Witchmon to protect Hiro and everybody else. That could have been cool. No, Pumpkinmon gets blown away. Canon Weissmon defeats Witchmon, or doesn't even defeat her. The clock just runs out, and now it's no longer Halloween, so her amplified power is gone, and everybody is freed from her spell. And that's sort of, everybody just sort of turns back at midnight. One interesting thing that they've been seeding throughout the whole show is, was it the Dark Conqueror or Dark Emperor? I think in this episode they called it the Dark Conqueror, which they're talking about Gulus Gamamon. So Witchmon looks at Gamamon and specifically says, like, "Are you him?" or something along those lines, or like, "Are you in some way related to him?" Which is interesting. And then our main cast goes back from the digital area that they create from their digivices to the real world, and Witchmon and Pumpkinmon are gone. And they even make mention of like, oh, Pumpkinmon just disappeared again, because that's what happened at the end of the last Halloween episode, is they went back to the real world and Pumpkinmon just didn't come through with them. So yeah, the first episode was okay. It was a fine episode. The second episode was really good. It was really fast-paced, and I thought it was really cool. Kind of dropped the ball at the end for me with Pumpkinmon showing up and then just not really getting anything to do. Overall, though, pretty good episodes, with 49 definitely being pretty strong. I think one of the better episodes of the whole show, really. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.